couple of quick questions. If the y factor is 1.6, what is the power p? And if the doubling displacement was 1.6, what is the value of b for the exponential function? Okay, well, for power function, we know, hopefully we know by now, that the y factor is just the value of a function at 2x divided by the value at x. And this would be so for any x, because here we have the function value of the doubling value of this value of x. So that the y factor is this, but of course this, if the function is of the form y equals x to the p, can be written out and simplified to give us 2 to the p. Now we've done this in detail. Hopefully you've got that in your notes. Hopefully you can review it if not. But this says that 2 to the p has to equal the y factor. And the solution to that equation is that p is the log of the y factor divided by the log of 2. And if we have y factor 1.6, the log of 1.6 divided by the log of 2, 0.68, which means that this would be a power function x to the p with p equal to 0.68. That is, you have the function x to the 0.68. So I'll just don't have room to write a whole lot. So your function would be x to the 0.68. And if you have an exponential function with a doubling displacement of, say, 1.6, no particular reason I use the same number both times, but there's no good reason why not to, or maybe there is and I'm just not thinking of it. What's your characteristic for doubling displacement? It's that f of x plus delta xd, the doubling displacement, divided by f of x equals b to the delta x sub d. Now we've written this out for a function of the form b to the x and simplified it and seen that this is the case. Now this delta x sub d being the doubling displacement, then this numerator has to exceed this denominator by a factor of 2, which means that this divided by this also has to equal 2. And from this, it follows that b is this simple equation, b to the delta xd equals 2. We take the reciprocal delta xd power of both sides, and we get b equals 2 to the reciprocal of delta xd. And from that, we can say, well, okay, 2 to the 1 over delta xd is 2 to the 1 over 1.6, and we find that 2 to the 1 over 1.6 is approximately 1.54, so that this function would be (1.54) raised to the x. You notice that the difference in the form of the function is that this function has x as something raised to a power. In this function, x is the power. And algebraically, that is the difference between exponential and power functions, something you should lock in and relate to these properties.